In a very familiar text of Luke 4, 1 through 13, we find Jesus in the wilderness being tempted. And we find that that it is a very rich story. Luke is drawing a parallel between Jesus and Moses in many ways. 40 days versus 40 years, manna in the desert versus bread on which to eat. There's a rich theological truth that is going on that aligns Jesus as the new Moses. But I don't want to look at that today. What I want to look at is how Jesus, who is God, is denying his very godliness to embrace his humanity. Jesus, who is God, could do everything and anything that is put before him, but he chooses not to, and he chooses not to for the good of the world. Jesus chooses not to show his godly nature and change the world for his best interest. What he does is he embraces his human nature to change the world for our existence. What a great message that is, to understand that we are called to a bigger picture that denies the ego, that denies the self for the greater good, the good to bring light, the good to bring love, the good for others. And that's what Jesus is starting at this point, being prompted by the Spirit to embrace his humanity by denying his divinity in action so that he may become sin for the world ultimately and die on the cross for the world ultimately and resurrect ultimately. We have a God that denies his very self for the greater good. And aren't we blessed?